Hello everybody, welcome back to another video where I give a story and a retrospective and some insight. That's maybe going a little too far. Basically, I tell a story of what it's like to be a DoorDash driver through one of my many experiences on the road over the last year. So today, I was out for just a little over 3 hours and it was a productive 3 hours, though. I made about 25 cents short of $60. So I'll be out longer tomorrow in a bigger market and I'll make a little more money. Hopefully. Always hope for the best. Anyways, today I had a few app issues today that actually kind of, between that and the fact that it got to, there's 3 issues that made me end my day at the point that I did, or 3 reasons why I ended the day at the point that I did was the delivery was the drop-off for this $13 delivery was right off of the exit on the freeway. The exit that I had to take to do this drop-off was one exit short of the exit I take to go home. So it was perfect. I'm going that way anyways. I've been out for a couple hours, and literally my exit to go home to, the last 20 minutes of my drive home is right there. So that was one reason. Number 2, it was about like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was about 95 degrees out. Don't want to play that game. And this might have had to do with why I was having app issues, but I was also having app issues. I had a delivery I had to take out to the place it's called the California Conservation Corps camp, or the CCC camp, and it's basically a government facility for the state of California. It's like I feel like it has a lot of services, but it's like there's like forestry people there, there's firemen there, there's military people there, and there's a lot of like people who live and work there. So you get a lot of DoorDash orders there. People, it's there's a lot of young men that are there, or younger people, I should say, young adults that are there. So you get a lot of, they're in there, they're on base, I guess. So they get they order DoorDash. So there's just, right when you pull in, you can just pull right into the front of the camp, and there's a little bench. And I learned the first time, almost a year ago, the first time I delivered there, that, you just set the order on the bench, take a picture, and then they come out from their bunkers and grab it, and there you go. So I've delivered there plenty of times, and sure enough, when I go and get out of the car, I didn't even look at the phone. I just, I'm on autopilot. I know what I'm doing, and I set it down, and I noticed that when I set it down, it says, doesn't say complete delivery steps. It says I have arrived at customer, and then it's loading when I hit that. So I'm like, great. Which is weird because, I know it's not service because, for one, I have full bars, and 2, I've delivered to this place like 3, 4, 5 times in the last year, and I've never ever had a service issue out there in that area. So I can't take the picture. Luckily, the guy was coming up. I go, hey, are you so-and-so? He goes, yeah. I go, there's your order there. I go, I'm having some app issues. I don't know if, if I'd service out here, or if the app's down, So eventually I went, and about, I called support, told them, hey, this is what's going on. And they go, okay, so we'll go ahead and complete the delivery for you. And I still had to wait about 10, 15 minutes or so, maybe only about 10 minutes or so. Finally drove out of where I was and drove back into the town, stopped and parked somewhere with some shade too. So, maybe my phone wasn't, maybe my phone was too hot. Maybe it was app issues and my phone was too hot, or one or the other. Like I said, it was getting up into the 90s outside, and you usually have that cell phone mount. Mine's, I have the suction cup one, so it's, it used to be on the steering wheel, but that was, or not the steering wheel, I'm sorry, but the windshield coming down, and then that was just way, way too hot. Now it's on the dashboard, but still, it's just hard to avoid that heat, at the same time. So, anyways, about 10 minutes later, my app comes back up, shows my dash, basically it's showing like I had completed that delivery, my dash had ended. So I did make the $10 for that delivery. And basically, I go and log back in, and the first order that I accepted, it took a long, from the time that I got to the donut shop, and I pressed arrived as soon as I got there, and from the time that I walked in, I grabbed the order, they even finished preparing it for like 2 or 3 minutes. I saw the customer's name, so I was lucky enough to say who it was for before it kind of was halfway frozen. And now I actually think I just turned my phone off in there. Again, I think I turned my phone off while I was in the donut shop and rebooted it. Go back out to my car. It still was a little bit slow, but eventually I was able to confirm the pickup, get the navigation up and running, and delivered the order. At that point, I'm like, between the fact that it's hot, I'm one exit away from going home, and the app's starting to irritate me right now, I'm calling it quits today. See how tomorrow goes. I'll be out a little earlier too. Even when I walked out the door when I first woke up this morning at my house, it was like, oh, it's already warm. Dang it. I try to get out on the road every day before it's too warm. It's still kind of cool out. But, so that gave me the inspiration for today's story, and it's the first time that I've ever experienced a app issue, a app crash, the app going down, bad service, whatever it is, and I'm going to tell you that story right now. So, this was early on in my dashing career. I don't know if it's a career per se, but early on in me being a dasher, I wasn't even full-time at this point. I mean, I went out every day, but I'd only do maybe 3-4 hours a day or so. I wasn't full-time. I was still trying to do other things that really weren't financially beneficial to me, which is why I decided to dash full-time. And I'm not going to ramble. I'm going to stay with the story. Anyways, so I'm out in the city of Hayward, California. I'm dashing out there. I know the area very well. So I get a stacked order. It was a sushi place and a not a donut place, a burrito place. The sushi place was up. It was like a complex of restaurants. The sushi place was upstairs, and the burrito place was downstairs off to the side. So cool, easy. Parked, picked up both orders, throw them in my car. I'm on my way. Well, unfortunately, the sushi delivery was, and this was, like I said, this was early on as when I was a dasher, so I wasn't paying attention. I was just being out here willy-nilly accepting orders. I still do accept a lot of orders, but that's because I have chunks of my day where it's, I make a day out of dashing. It's not just, hey, I'm going to, here or there. No, I have to make my money, and, because I do it full time, I have days where, I work. In the markets I work, you can accept a lot of orders and stay in the same area for the most part. Anyways, I wasn't paying attention too much at this time and seeing, how long or how the miles are, etc., etc. So I accept this order without really paying attention, and the first order, the sushi place, was going up Carlos B. Boulevard. Now, if you're familiar with Hayward, California, Mission Boulevard is kind of a main thoroughfare that runs, I think it runs from like maybe the outskirts of Castro Valley, and I think it runs all the way into like Fremont, to be honest. Maybe even farther. It might even go farther than, it might even go into like I don't think it goes into San Jose, but it might even go into like Milpitas or something like that. If you're not familiar with the area, I'm just saying words at you, but basically Mission Boulevard's a long stretch of road in the Bay Area that stretches from pretty much like almost a couple miles outside of Oakland and all the way to like almost to San Jose. Maybe not all the way to San Jose, but almost San Jose. So it covers like Newark, Fremont, Union City, all that good stuff. So when you're driving down Mission Boulevard, you can swing a left on this place called Carlos B. Boulevard, and you go up this horrible, horrible, horrible steep hill, and that takes you up into the Hayward Hills. And that's where the sushi order was going. And it was going way, 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 way up into the Hayward Hills. And I believe it was a hand-to-me order also. So I show up, I pull into the driveway. People were standing outside already. I go, hi, you guys have the order? Cool. Pick it up. We're good. At this point, the app's completely acting up. I've never had it act up like this before. I'm trying to complete the delivery, and it's not working. And I have another customer's order in my car, and I'm up in the Hayward Hills, and I have no earthly idea where I am. So I figure I need to drive. I have no service. I need to drive back to where there's service. So I don't even think I can make a phone call at this point because I'm so far up in the hills. So I start driving, but I don't know where I'm driving to. I'm just trying to drive to where there's service. And I'm so far up in the hills that I'm really not making any progress. I finally am able to get a phone call off, call support, tell them what's going on, and I think I got so frustrated that I just hung up. I got so frustrated about the situation and the fact that the app's still not loading on my phone and I have no idea where I'm going, and I have this other person's food in my car, and this is like my first month of doing DoorDash, and I am freaking out. I'm so freaked out and I'm so frustrated. I think I just hung up on the dasher, and I'm lost. I am completely lost. I have no idea where I'm at now. I have no earthly idea where I'm at. I am completely lost in the Hayward Hills with a full customer's burrito order in my car. I start driving. I believe at this point I get a phone call, and it's from, I don't know if he called me or I don't know if I figured out a way to call him. I'm not exactly sure, but some way or another, it had to have been he called me. It had to have been he called me because there was no way the app was working, or I was able just to get it to work for I was able to get some info from it from just a split second that I was able to find the customer's address and punch it in to my own GPS in my car. And at this point, I'm still in the Hayward Hills. I'm over 20 minutes away from this customer. He's all the way in, I believe, Newark. And I don't know if it was before when I don't know when we contacted each other, but eventually, there was some contact made between me and the customer, and I told him what was going on. I go, hey, dude, I have no idea what's going on with the app. It's totally screwing up on me. I'm so sorry, but I am making my way towards you. And long story short, I eventually do get to the customer. I give him his food. It was an apartment complex, so I think when I was in the app, I do think I was able to use the hamburger icon, but I wasn't able to use anything else. So I was able to use the hamburger icon to look up that information to call the customer. No, actually, I don't think I just went off the number that we were using in the phone. I don't know if it was a number he was using that DoorDash was. That's, hidden through the DoorDash system where they hide the number, or I don't know if this was their actual number, but I'm pretty sure I was not getting any use in the app. And eventually I get his food to him because it was an apartment complex, and I just had the address of the complex, not a number. Eventually he came out, he got his food like almost an hour after I accepted the order. Maybe not that long, but, it felt like that. And still, the app is not working. The app is not working, and I'm freaking out. I have no idea what's going on. At this point, I start driving, trying to find somewhere to pull over away from this customer's in this apartment complex. The streets are all full of cars. It's all resident parking. So I try to find like a shopping center to pull into. I finally do. Because now I'm completely lost. I'm in Newark. I'm not in my zone. I'm not in the town that I started in. I'm in a completely different town. Um, and I pull over, and at this point, I think as I was trying to find a place, I was still screwing with the app and trying to log in, and I was just getting where the screen is just red. And eventually, I got the login screen, and that's when I'm like, I need to find a parking lot and pull over and figure out what in the hell is going on. And that's when I pulled over, stopped my car because it's way too unsafe to be doing what I'm doing, trying to figure out why the app's not working. And pull over, stop, put it in park, all that good stuff. And I'm freaking out in my head. I'm thinking, like, have I been deactivated in my first month? Because, like, now I've been booted out of the app and I got to log in. So I put my username in, I put my password in, boom, I'm back up. I'm logged in, I'm good, I'm fine and everything. And I'm just sitting there in my car like, what the hell was that? Like, what the hell was that? Well, that, my friend, whether it was the service because I was so far up in the Hayward Hills, or the fact that the app, it's almost like I'd say at its best, it's like a bi-weekly thing when the app has issues. Sometimes it full-on crashes, and sometimes it has its, like, mini crashes. When I mean full-on crash, I'm talking about, like, y'all remember back, I believe it was a Saturday back in, like, I don't think it might have been July, but it might have been the beginning of July or the end of June. But it was like Saturday night, and I felt like, I looked on Reddit and everybody was busy. I was busy. I was making money, and if you're a driver, you know about that night earlier this summer, that Saturday night where the app just it went down. That's so much not and I believe like 2 days later it had another one where it wasn't it wasn't to the point of it being completely down. It was like not as bad as Saturday, but almost as bad. I wasn't working that day. I think it was a Monday, and the only reason I knew was I went to like check my ratings or my earnings or something like that because it was Monday, but I wasn't working and I couldn't load the ratings or the earnings, but I could load all the other screens. So I went on Reddit, and sure enough, people are, what the hell, DoorDash? Excuse me. What the hell, DoorDash is crashing again. See if I can do this with one hand, not get water all over my shorts. Ooh, I did it. So yeah, if you know about those 2 days and earlier this summer where the app acted up. And then, if you're like me, you know about the little kind of just mini issues, mini outages, mini crashes it has every once in a while, like what happened to me today. Like I said, I don't know if the app was acting up or if it was because my phone was hot or if it was both. I think it was both, because I did go on Reddit and seen that people were complaining of app issues today. Great, I didn't get it on my shorts opening it, but I got it on my shirt drinking it. Anyways, so that was how I learned about app issues, app crashes, little app glitches, and how to not deal with them, which is freaking out. You just gotta take a deep breath, as irritating and as frustrating and as much as you want to punch your steering wheel and throw F-bombs and do all the other things to take your focus off of driving. You just need to be patient. Get to an area where you can safely park and pull over. Take a deep breath and just ride it out and hope that the issue gets resolved within the next 10 or 15 minutes. I don't always do that perfectly. Today I was a little frustrated. I was a little more frustrated when not so much when I had to call support and on the first delivery where it started to act up, but after I had logged back in and then I got another order, and then again it was giving me the issues when I arrived at the store. At that point I'm just like, what the bleep, man? Come on. And that's when I'm like, all right, we're gonna probably call it quits after. Oh, excuse me. We're gonna probably call it quits after this order. But anyways, I felt like I did keep my cool pretty cool today for the most part. It was just very, very, very frustrating. Like every time something goes wrong on this app, sometimes it's mildly frustrating, sometimes it's really, really frustrating. But at the same time, in my opinion, it's better than dealing with the job and regular customers and coworkers and GMs and shift leads and etc., etc., etc. Clocking in, clocking out. 10-minute breaks, 30-minute breaks. But anyways, that was the story of the first time I ever really had a app issue, and one of, probably at that point in time, my worst day doing DoorDash. There's been a lot other bad days and a lot of other bad experiences, but that was, at least doing a delivery, that was one of the worst experiences on a delivery at that short time I was doing a DoorDash, or of being a DoorDash driver. So anyways, if you hung out to the end and you enjoyed this video, you enjoyed this story, please give a thumbs up. If you didn't hang out to the end, maybe you already gave it a thumbs down already, but if you hung out to the end and you're regretting the 21 minutes that I took away from your life, well, get revenge on me and give me a thumbs down. But if you want more of my DoorDash stories, because I have plenty of them, I just got to think about it sometimes and rack my brain. If you want more DoorDash stories on a daily basis, I try to get a video out daily, sometimes early, a lot of times late. Please hit the subscribe button. But this has been Thomas, and this has been my Dasher Stories. Hey, isn't that the name of my channel? Yes, it is, Thomas's Dasher Stories. And I will see you guys in the next video.